All right, welcome to Open Caller. This is number 18, episode number 18. I am Corey Bullis alongside Vishal Sheth and Ryan Karkner. Let's do a quick shout out to all of our viewers on YouTube via our live stream, youtube.com/govnc, and to everyone listening around the podcatcher world. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing if you shared with people in your inner circles
or outer circles.
Our outer circles. We are not judgy. We are not biased.
Any circle, really. We'll even handle a square.
Trapezoids.
Really anything with, shapes.
Even a line. Just one line.
Anything that follows in the geometric spectrum, we are all for. So what's up with you gents on this fine Thursday evening? Or prior to this fine evening?
I worked. This isn't.
No, you.
This.
I don't believe it.
This gig isn't carrying yet the way that I hoped it would.
The castle doesn't pay for itself, right?
I thought I'd be cash for life by now, just on ads alone. Not the case. Maybe one day.
Tomorrow?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Where's
the day this turns into?
We could be the overnight sensation.
I don't know. Well, this is a lot later for us.
This is our late night
sensation hitting the nation.
Yeah. Dim the lights, gentlemen. We're after dark now.
Finally.
so this is the podcast Ryan's been waiting for.
Go.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't fall asleep first.
Yeah. Unplug the mics. Ryan's got it from here. So a follow up to
just Ryan screaming like an old lady.
Yeah, Ryan doesn't like clouds.
They've had a good article about that the other day.
It was in the paper. Follow up to a previous story about pools. We took the kids again to the hotel for a swim.
Yes.
There's nobody in the pool this time, so Ashley was watching the kids in the kid pool. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the adult fun size. I used muscles I haven't used in like 20 years. First stroke, like there should have been a lifeguard on duty. I was ready to die.
It's not a stroke of genius.
No, I thought I had a stroke.
It was a stroke of desperation.
Pretty much. It's just like the arm was dead and the other one goes that one. I thought I pinched a nerve in my neck. It was scary. Exercise.
Swimming is like it's supposed to be one of the best kind of all full body workworkouts.
But you got to use your full body. I think.
Like if you don't your full body in the first place, everything just hurts.
Like this is me Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
So
when
somebody asks you, "Can you swim?" does the definition of swimming mean you can just hold yourself afloat and like tread water, or like do they mean swimming as in can you actually perform the art of swimming? And the reason why I bring this up is I was told not that long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I was with my family and we were at some barbecue. There was like an outdoor pool.
Wait, you were at a family barbecue?
I was.
No, I don't believe it.
So anyways, like I'm just like, in the water doing my thing. And my mom was like, "Wow, Ryan, I hate to break it to you, but like you never really learned how to swim." And I'm kind of like, "What do you mean? Like I know how to swim? Like that's so I'm in the water right now. Like obviously
hold my beer."
Yeah, like hold my beer. Like I can swim. It's like no, like you're able to like stay afloat, but like you really like I've watched you swim. You can't swim.
Just dog paddling.
Yeah, and this was like a little mind blowing. It's like I lived my whole life thinking that I learned how to swim, and apparently I never did. I just merely learned how to stay alive.
Which is, that's not the worst thing.
I think that's swimming. Like, am I Michael Phelps? No, but am I alive? Yeah, maybe.
Well, then, okay. So then, how about this? I can stand upright on skates, and I can move at a I was going to say respectable. That's not the word at all. I can move on skates.
But can you, by definition,
but can I skate? hell no. Like,
this might be the same. Like,
you know, it's a
Yeah.
very similar, like, I can, you know, I can stand, I can move around, I can mostly, you know, get nudged and not fall over.
I had to use like the old plastic chairs that they give you at the old
Yeah.
rinks. Like I can skate with one of those. Like I can
Yeah.
fly.
Well, that, you know,
Take that chair away.
is that like
I'm in
saying I
trouble.
can swim with like the floaty?
Floaties?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm any better with the floaties. I think I'm just a guy flailing his arms with floaties on.
So
Um,
the argument is being it's not so much if you can do the action. People are defining it as in if you have the skill to do it. Like if you can hit a ball with a bat, can you play baseball?
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah,
the
I
difference
mean,
between
yeah.
the actual quote unquote action itself versus, you know, the art of the skill of the
Because yeah,
action.
Ashley said the same thing when she saw me, you know, going from one end to the pool to the other. She goes, "Oh, you can swim." I said, "Yeah," because again, I went from point A to point B. But she's like, "Oh no, you are doing the motions."
Actually, I was drowning. It just.
Then I realized I could touch the bottom.
It was actually the wave pool that that kept me going.
I was in the hot tub the whole time.
Yeah.
That's more my speed, hot tubs.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
Bubbles.
Love the bubs.
Automated or self-provided.
Both.
You know,
Combine them.
combine them.
I like it to be a surprise.
Don't know if it
Your
was
bubbles are
yours
fine.
or this machine until the odor came in. Right?
Who knows?
Wow. Learning a lot here. We're learning. You're just continuously disappointing your parents or surprising them. Is that some
I'm
disappointment or
still-
surprise? So they're surprised that you are shitty at swimming, or
No, like not at all.
disappointed that
Like I didn't like wake up at 5 a.m. Saturday mornings to go to the, you know, the watering hole and practice my laps. Like I would only swim when there was a time where like I was forced to go swimming. It was literally sink or swim, the story.
the Ryan Carkner story.
That is literally the title of my autobiography. Sink or swim, the time I flailed my arms.
So yeah, it's cottage or pool or
Yeah, whatever.
you're not doing laps in the tub.
I've tried.
Doesn't work out very well.
Just turn around it.
Woo. I don't know if you heard me counting, but I just hit over 1,000.
So this is what happens when it's like after 9:30.
Yeah, we are off to a good start.
You guys have a couple sunny delights and you're all giggles.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Hey, Fruitopia, man.
So what
Raspberry kiwi. Combining
Ooh.
some fruits here, right? It's delicious.
Good one.
So, Ryan, I mentioned this to you briefly. I think we lost Ryan.
Ryan, come on.
So we'll move on to.
There he is.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
I clicked the refresh button. That was a mistake.
Well, we were talking about our refreshing drinks. He thought he had to refresh his screen. I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Could be worse.
But-
Where's my tab?
Did you press the any key?
Anyway.
Ryan, I mentioned this to you on the weekend. I showed some of the Peanuts movie.
Whoa, this is a family show.
Peanuts.
Oh, Peanut. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Not that parent. And I just couldn't help but think of Pigpen and
Yes.
his uncleanliness. Like if that was a real life, you think he would not be, brought into, or at least the parents brought into the principal's office and sat down. Mr. Mrs. Penn, we have to talk about your son's hygiene. Because that kid, like, he moves and there's dust clouds. How is that socially acceptable? Like 50, 60 years ago? Like, I think I read somewhere that Charles Schultz regretted creating that character because of haha, you're dirty sort of thing that people do. But
like, did he regret it like 6 months ago after?
Well, he's dead. So
he definitely didn't regret it 6 months ago.
It was probably like after the character was already a staple of the programming.
Yeah.
But it just it's funny to think that like someone's like, "Hey, dude, want some soap?"
But what if it's more of a like, hey, we're gonna accept you based on who you are, not
Yeah.
based on the amount of dust clouds you have around you all the friggin' time.
But should you accept somebody who is dust cloudy?
I don't know. Should you accept somebody who carries a blanket around all the time?
I don't think you should accept
All the
either of those
time.
people. Those people should be exiled.
You got Dust Cloud Island over here.
Yeah,
You got Blanket Island over there.
just take these people and move them
You got,
somewhere else.
You got Football Bitch over here.
Hey, she's a therapist.
That's true.
She's
Like
studied-
barely.
Like barely.
well, at her rock bottom prices of 5 cents. Don't forget, this is also living in a world where a dog thinks he's a World War II fighter pilot.
That's true.
You mean he's not?
No,
I think we have
he's a
two
beagle,
very-
man.
I think we have two very different interpretations of the that scrotum sir.
So far this week we have learned that Ryan doesn't know how to swim, and also that he thinks dogs can fly.
Yeah, beagles are World War II fighter pilots. They take on the Red Baron. We must socially outcast any child who
Yes.
has
Forgot
any sort of
about
dust
that.
clouds surrounding him at all times.
Don't forget the kid in the blanket.
Yes, that's right. And the blanket kid.
Well, that's just
I mean, I guess
know,
they're pretty.
it's a
they're
childlike
young.
wonder.
They're young-ish.
Can
I don't know,
can we at
because-
least say that like give Pigpen and Linus all their crap, but Charlie Brown was like bald by like the age of
That's true.
6. Like we're not going to talk about that.
Or Peppermint Patty and Marcy.
No.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, I'm
All
staying
right,
away.
that's
I'm
the
staying away
after
from that
dark.
one. Yeah, I'm staying away from that one. I'm not. Hey, who Peppermint Patty wants to hang around with is her business.
Whoever's getting at her Peppermint Patty is no one's business, right?
I don't want people blowing up my Twitter later.
Speaking of which, I'm assuming anyone here did
Twitter
not.
sucks now.
Did you partake in the, what was it called? Deactive Day on the 17th or whatever it was last Friday?
I didn't deactivate anything.
But have you used it since then? I have not used it since last Friday.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was this, I don't know, like a
anymore.
social movement, no pun intended, where people were like debating that they were going to, or saying at this date we're all deactivating, or we're just not going to use it starting this date. I haven't deleted my account. I've thought about it because, yeah, it's nothing but negative 24/7 on there now.
I can't. And so a while ago, probably like 6 months ago, I went through, and it's really hard to kind of mass unfollow things, right? You have to go.
You gotta wean
You have to
yourself
go.
off
You got to
it.
go one at a time and all that stuff. Because I found that my Twitter feed was getting too cluttered as it was. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and cut out a bunch of the people that I'd follow just for the sake of following them. And it takes a really long time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I carved out an hour and just like went through my list and cut it down to probably a quarter of what it was. Because a lot of the times I was also following similar accounts, right? Like following TSN and then also TSN hockey and TSN whatever, like all those things I could get by just following TSN because they retweet from the other ones anyway, so it's fine. Man, I like, even with that slimming down of the things I follow, and now it's mainly it's like a few kind of comedy Twitter accounts, mostly tech sites and truck like reviewers, sports, and some movie stuff. And even then, all I hear, like everything, is just negative about, oh, this person, this person's off Twitter now, this person's getting harassed, this person's this, and it's so annoying now. So like, yeah, I'm on it a lot less than I used to be. I have opened it up recently, but yeah, it's not my main source of anything anymore.
Yeah, I found in, I guess, almost a week that I've done it, I instinctively because I have all my social stuff in a folder, so I instinctively just out of habit press it. But every time I see the bird, I just double tap and swipe out of it.
Yeah.
But just like using news apps and everything else, obviously seeing the occasional Trump article somewhere. Yeah, I don't really see anything negative anymore now that I'm not on it. Aside from my own negative thinking.
It's great, like, not being on it. There's some stuff I feel like it's nice to have it just for a few news things that aren't showing up in real time in like the news apps.
Yeah,
and
the only
stuff
thing
like
I've been missing is like any
But-
like sports rumors or things like that
Exactly,
that you don't
the
see until
sports
someone posts an
updates.
article about it.
Yeah, because like mainly it's I really like it for like updates. I don't need the full article. I don't, because they're not going to write a new article every time a minor thing happens. But if someone's like, oh, update on this situation where we're this close to that or whatever it is, like I like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't think I'd miss it if I uninstalled it at all.
My thing is like this summer school, the class post stuff on there. So that's kind of the only reason why I'm hanging on to it, since she's starting in a couple weeks again.
They post it on Twitter?
Yeah, it's
just
teacher
like,
has a
yeah,
private
news
account.
stuff.
They do pictures of what the kids are doing in class. So that's the only reason I'm kind of hanging on to it right now. But yeah, no, I don't miss it at all, really.
I haven't used mine for like a year. So
yeah, it's there's another thing that's kind of slowed down my Twitter usage is Corey, like we've talked about it. I don't use the official Twitter apps on iOS or Android. Just the main thing is the not having the reverse chronological feed. And I don't like the, oh, hey, here's what you missed. And here's a tweet from 6 hours ago, followed by a tweet from 3 minutes ago, followed by a tweet from 4 days ago.
Yeah, that's why I really don't use Instagram anymore.
Yeah, see, like I don't mind as much with Instagram because it's a mindless like scroll. I'm just looking at pictures and stuff. But if I'm looking for news or like what's happening, the reason Twitter was so good for me, that the reason I use it as much as I did, was because it was, if I didn't open it for 3 days, that's fine. I want the news. I don't want the news from 3 days ago. I want the news from right now.
Right.
Whereas like Instagram pictures, and I think we talked about it before when we discussed Facebook maybe, but Facebook and Instagram, it's more people that like I actually know. The people I follow are people I actually know and actually like care about what they're doing or where they're going, stuff like that. I follow very few people on Twitter that I actually know in real life because, well, a lot of them don't use it, for one thing. And the other thing is that's the one I want for news. That's how I get a lot of my information. And, that information is rarely, pictures of kids or dogs or vacations or anything like that. That's what I use Facebook and Instagram for. Twitter, I want it for news that I wouldn't get anywhere else. And the app I use on on Android is called Phoenix, and it's great. But then Twitter's been like messing with third-party apps for years now, and I guess last week they finally got rid of some APIs that stopped apps from doing like a real-time update, so that you didn't have to hit refresh every time. So if you use TweetDeck on the computer, which I do sometimes, I could just have like a little side panel of Twitter and it would just update on its own. I wouldn't have to refresh every 5 minutes or whatever. So like that was cool. And then you stop getting push notifications. So if someone replied or liked or favorited anything, you wouldn't get it until you open the app or every whatever your refresh interval is. So if you have it set for like, oh, just refresh every 6 hours in the background, then all of a sudden I would get like a bunch of notifications 6 hours later. And like just I don't know, all the third-party apps are doing just so much better stuff than the official Instagram app is doing, or the official Twitter app is doing. And so I just can't get on board with using that one now, like now that I've used the other ones. So it's like even more reason not to open the app, along with all the garbage that's like happening on it.
Well, mainly the garbage.
Mainly the garbage. It's a huge dumpster fire on Twitter right now.
Yeah. Especially when you have like the CEO or president or whatever that's backing 90% of the problems that are on there.
Yeah. Being like, oh yeah, well, it doesn't violate our stuff.
Didn't
Also,
he have his
but it does,
account
though.
banned? Like, wasn't the CEO one of the people that had like his account like not hacked but like deactivated, like banned? I thought I heard that.
Who, Jack?
I don't know.
I
Whoever
don't
the CEO
think
is.
so.
Well, maybe I'll find it. Keep talking about your other stuff. I'm on news control.
Well, we'll take this time to move on to some more positive news, and we'll move on to this week's V's Tea.
Yeah. So I've got Chewy on my shirt here, and the caption underneath says, "I woke up like this."
Oh, I get it.
Is, you know, it's a thing. I can't remember when. I think it was a couple years ago. That was a big like "I woke up like this" situation where people just post pictures saying "I woke up like this." This one's just cute and funny. Chewie's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and it's hilarious because he looks like this all the time, whether he just woke up or, was out flying on top of the Millennium Falcon.
Right? Co-pilot.
Co-pilot.
All right. So that was V's Tees for this week, sponsored by 80stees.com. Visit 80stees.com, enter the promo code OpenCollar30 at checkout to save 30% on your purchase. 80stees.com. Celebrate your inner 80s kids with the raddest retro t-shirts and pulp culture gear. Ryan, did you find it?
I did not.
Ah.
So I'm clearly talking in my ass. I saw something on TV of that nature, so I either have it skewed or what have you. I'm over it.
Yeah. One thing that apparently no one seems to be over, but we might be venturing down that road, is not sure if everyone saw this, but ESPN announced that they will not be airing the national anthem during the Monday Night Football telecast this year. Was it Gian Pitaro, ESPN president, told the networks, or told reporters that they will not televise the national anthem as part of its Monday night broadcast this year. Not that they had to, but they informed the NFL of that earlier. And as they said, they wanted to strengthen their relationship with the league, and I guess they figure this will help that by not having the controversy airing. So I've said this before. I don't think the national anthem should be shown before games. Anyway, I don't think you hear much of it during hockey unless it's a Saturday night telecast and it's Toronto. I think most of the time it's
even if they have like a celebrity,
right? Yeah, if it's a high profile game or a high profile celebrity doing the anthems, I don't think you hear it, see it, or if you do, you catch the very tail end of it.
Yeah, you might get it on like the big like hockey night in Canada games.
Yeah, the 7:00 Toronto Montreal's or Toronto or
Toronto
anyone Toronto's playing. Yeah, anything like that.
Toronto,
I think
Toronto.
most regional telecasts or something like that, they're not showing that part of the game. And again, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
I think I don't watch a lot of football anyway, but is it like, was it just more airtime that they could, have on there? Like, is it
to me, that seems like that's the type of thing we sit there talking about the lineup, or you're talking about the keys to the game or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
nobody at home is standing up during that time because, oh, honey, can't talk now. The anthem's playing.
Exactly.
I mean, in the States, you'd probably be surprised, maybe. Like I remember, like when I was in Cleveland, I was at one of the Indians games there, and we were in the shop, like the Sen shop, except it's the Indian shop, I guess. Anyways,
whoa.
The Sen shop is not in Cleveland?
It is not. I don't know,
okay.
whatever you want to call it.
I will cross that off my list.
The stadium shop. I don't know the quick fix term for it. Anyways, wow. I lost it. The anthem. Thank you. The anthem.
No problem.
The anthem was playing, and literally everyone in the store who was looking at hats. I think I saw like one person like take a hat like off the rack and then like put it to his chest, and like everyone stays still for the national anthem. They're not at their seats. They're not like outside of the park. Like they are far away from the anthem actually happening, and everybody's dead silent.
Well, you're supposed to, like, that's my understanding. That's what we're all supposed to be doing. But you know,
but like the Sen store, for example, here in Ottawa, like no one's doing that.
Absolutely.
No. And like in my experience when I was a rep with the team was like I'd stop in between like, you know, VOMs or whatever, and there's people like running to the concessions or on the phone, they're going into the washroom, they're paying for their beers. So exactly. I think if the like in your experience there in Cleveland, if that's what you're supposed to be doing, then you got to shut everything down during that 3 minutes. You're not serving food. Someone's blocking the bathroom doors. Like that's what it's supposed to be. Like, so again, with all the controversy going on, them taking it off their telecasts just shows, I guess, that it's really only important to the people in the stands.
I think so.
Because those are the ones, and then those are the ones not making the fuss, right? It's everyone at home that's complaining.
I think it's also
one person that's complaining.
They would probably, I mean, I'm sure they've run the numbers or whatever, but they've seen that it doesn't help them financially at all.
I think it makes no difference.
And all it does is, well, it's just having it is more bad press than necessary.
Yeah, you're just shining a light on the problem more.
So yeah, you're like, all right, well, it's not, because if it was financially viable for them, they would take it. You know, they would take the bad press and be like, yeah, we know people get upset about it or whatever, but it's okay because we're making an extra $1 million by showing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not though. So they're like, whatever, it's fine. They're the people, like you said, the people in the stadium are there. They're standing up in their seats. They're doing whatever.
Yeah, you're part of all of it now. It's all part of the experience, right?
Yeah, and then that's it. The people at home, you're right, don't need to see that. They don't need to see any of the pre-game stuff. That's not.
I think that's why they had the anthem broadcast in the first place way back when, is because the NFL wanted to appear more patriotic to the common viewer. And I think it's the same reason why the NFL logo is red, white, and blue. Like it's all part of a marketing tactic. At least it was way back when, to get the patriotic common man to tune into the football game. And maybe they don't need that anymore. Maybe they don't need that element.
Well, I feel like they really ramped that up after 9/11. They had the flybys go over every game. They had the big flag things with the Army guys on the field. I think that's the same reason why they started doing was it God Bless America during baseball games now? Like that's what they do during the seventh inning stretch.
I think that's Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
No, that's at Wrigley. But I think in some parts, maybe if it was just New York.
I think there's some parks that do, like I've been to parks that do both. Like they'll do Take Me Out to the Ball Game and God Bless America. And I've seen it where they do just Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And I've seen it where they do just God Bless America. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think all that was after 9/11. If I'm not mistaken, I easily could be wrong, but we don't employ a fact checker here.
Yeah.
Case in point, Ryan and Twitter CEO is getting banned.
I'll find it.
I thought you gave up on it.
No, I will.
You're like, now I'm back.
I'll come back. I'm still kind of tied up with the Boston pizza fiasco, but I will get around to that.
Yeah, so you got to take on Colonnade Pizza, Pizza Hut, one of the other pizza places.
I'm going after Big Pizza, guys.
Little Caesars. Big Pizza.
They're ready.
Yeah.
You got to take a one pizza pie out at a time.
Bring them all down.
From the inside. Get employed there.
Figure out the insider.
Just cut to me in like 2 weeks, like in like a pizza apron, starting from the bottom.
Just mopping floors.
Yeah. 20 years later, CEO of like Boston Pizza. Right where I want to be.
Yeah, right. Everyone can have as many price pizzas as you want.
Joke's
next
on
day.
you, Boston Pizza.
Yeah.
It was me. It was me all along.
Got a movie there.
Yeah.
But speaking of crumbling from the inside, it's been reported by Forbes that the Arizona Coyotes lost $50 million last season.
Sounds about right.
That is the most that they've lost in a single season, with previous seasons having a loss of around $30 million. And the report has their total debt at around $300 million.
Hockey in the desert. Who knew?
Yeah. Who knew that wouldn't survive?
Everyone.
Why are they still there? There's
that is the hill that Gary Bettman will die on.
Yeah, like there's teams, or there's markets that want teams that will do well, that will make more money, that will be more profitable, that will have more interest. Like everything would be better. And yeah, Bettman's like, nope, Arizona, that's the place. That's the place that we need hockey the most. If we can't have it in Arizona, then we shouldn't have it anywhere.
Just closes down the lead.
Yeah, we're not playing anywhere else until it's feasible and profitable here.
Just Bettman like sitting in a corner in his Jeremy Roenick jersey at home.
Just stroking the emblem.
Nobody gets hockey.
Every home game will now be played in Arizona, no matter what teams are playing.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't shock me. Yeah,
it shocks me how long it's lasted that they've been losing money, and like, are they still getting? They're still getting help from the city.
Yep.
Yeah. So like,
part of the contract.
It's stuff like that where like if I was not a hockey fan living in Arizona,
which is everyone,
which is most people, even if I was a hockey fan living in Arizona,
Austin Matthews was,
like I don't know if I would want to pay, if I wanted to contribute to
your taxes.
Yeah, like and I'm sure that they have better use for those taxes.
There's people who, like, even here, right, will fight tooth and nail and bitch that they got to pay for schools when they have no kids that are in school.
Let the Coyotes pay the Coyote tax.
Yes. It comes back to the Bears.
It's all about the Bears. Then it was the Coyotes. We knew it was the Bears. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So at this point with the league, because of Vegas, it does not make sense to move them, and you want them to fold and someone to buy an expansion because they'll make more money that way. Because if you buy a team, you're paying the losses. If you expand a team, that's money that gets divided and the league looks better.
But why?
That's what they're saying. You're not going to have it. You're less likely now to have a team go to Quebec because of they don't have the East and West.
Could you not start your own franchise without not necessarily expanding the league, though? Like, I'm just thinking it from strictly a business standpoint. Like, when a corporation goes under, like, the owner of that corporation can walk away from that, and the debt dies with the corporation. Why can't it be a similar strategy here where we just let the Coyotes die? It doesn't have to get transferred to anybody. You're probably, at this point, you're probably better off eating the loss. Like, the league can just eat the loss, move it somewhere else, and then just start anew.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, yes, you would make more money with an expansion team, but you'll still make money. Like, not as much money moving it.
But no one's going to want to start with a $400 million red crayon. I
think that's the problem with the league faces, because I think their lease has to do with it. Like, if you break a lease or move, you got to pay that.
Yeah, you're like out of that contract.
Imagine being the landlord of the Arizona Coyotes lease. I mean, it's just like a guy in a wife beater. It's just like an Eastern European guy in a wife beater who lives upstairs. who like
above a bowling alley and below another bowling alley.
Just with a big barrel for a gut, right?
Yeah.
The hairiest shoulders and back.
Uses the mop to like cut the
Quiet down, you three fans up there.
Hey,
What's
take it
going
down
on
a
up
notch.
Oh, you want to play hockey, eh?
Turn that anthem down.
That is not the Ukrainian anthem. No offense. Yeah, because who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody at work. Oh no, it was an article I was reading. They were saying, why would you go move somebody to, let's say they take the Hurricanes, for example, that are, again, same thing, bleeding money. Their value is on the way down, just like Arizona's. I think the current owner of the Coyotes, or his co-owner, wants to sell his portion for, no, he just bought out the other guy, so he owns it wholesale now, wants to sell it for about $500 million. With the losses at $300 million, puts their value at maybe $300 million.
How do you possibly think buying out the other side of the Coyotes is ever a good idea?
Because I guess if you were to ever unload it, you would then not have to. Your losses, I guess.
I think that is like the ballsiest business move.
Yeah, like you're banking on a lot. Like that's a huge risk.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, like it doesn't really pay off that much, you know?
I don't think it's
at all.
I don't think it's going to pay out at all.
Shit, it's late. I forgot my point. End of the day, you make more money with the expansion because was it $500 million for Vegas? They're saying the next one, Seattle's gonna be 750. So at this point now, you're probably looking at $1 billion to
start a team.
Like but Quebec will only get one.
Bring back the Whalers, man. Like,
the Whalers, the Nordiques. Just bring back all the old teams. Supersonics back in the NBA.
Oh, hells yes.
Yeah.
But did you see the possible expansion for the MLB? No. Cities being considered? Portland, Vegas, Charlotte, Nashville. Those are the U.S. cities. They're thinking of going back to Montreal or Vancouver.
Ooh, Montreal would be good.
And lastly, possible Mexico.
Yeah. There's always a Mexico.
I don't know how they're going to get past the wall.
Yeah. I'll just hit dingers over it.
Like Big Al.
Yeah, that's right.
Big Al likes to hit dingers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, like it is already like a country league. You could hypothetically do Mexico, but it wouldn't be like, I don't think it'd be like the Mexico whatever. Insert, whatever team name here. I'm staying away from it.
Yeah,
enchiladas.
But
stop that conversation. Mexican tacos.
Anyways, but like it would be like
mucho burritos.
Whatever. Like let's say it's like the Mexico City Marauders. Let's say. Yeah, the Mexico City Mexicos. That could work hypothetically. You just wouldn't want to be in the division that has to fly to Mexico 20 times a year.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because it's not like the NHL by time zones. MLB is just like
all over the place.
Yeah, it's not
you
based on anywhere you are.
No, because when you go, it's a 3 or 4 game series.
Yeah.
Imagine spending 4 nights in Mexico because you're in that division.
Don't drink the water.
Well, at least like
they say it all the time.
Yeah.
But so like this, all these I feel like there's a lot of leagues now that so every league has at least almost 30 teams, right?
30 teams in NBA,
30 to
30, yeah, 31 for the NHL.
In football, 31 in...
So like I get that more teams make more money, but doesn't it like dilute the fan base almost? Like people, I feel like there's too much to keep track of. I used to really like knowing what was going on in hockey, who was where, who like how well everyone was doing
until the Mexicans showed up.
And then and then Team Mexico shows up and I'm like, I can't pronounce this name. But no, it's getting harder and harder to know what's going on in every league because there's too much information, I guess.
Is it that there's too many teams, or we're at the age now where everybody we know is gone and we don't really have the time or the effort to learn everybody else who's new?
It's also like analytics plays like a big role into it now. It's less about like that old fashioned baseball or hockey know-how, and it's a lot of analytics. It's a lot of science now.
Yeah, like Ryan, you could attest this. I think you're the one of the three of us that watches baseball. There was an article I saw I think, a couple days ago that is said that this is probably in like last 30 years the worst time we've had for baseball because the games are longer than ever. The hitting, all that stuff is down because of exactly how analytics and stuff plays into it, where people are more in their head about taking pictures and things now. That there's strikeouts are higher than hits are, home runs are down, all that stuff again because of how everyone now plays the game. It's all Well, it's all science based, right?
Yeah, there it is a lot of like I think baseball was actually, believe it or not, one of the last ones to kind of incorporate analytics. Like you guys have heard of like Moneyball and stuff like that. Like that's kind of been around for
I saw that movie.
Yeah, good movie, but like the actual analytics of like a little bit more advanced, like just kind of got to baseball maybe like a few years ago. Like football was actually one of the first that started using it, and then it kind of made its way to like basketball, like where NBA, like it's all about the three, like 10, 15 years ago, like it was all about having the big center like Shaq or whatever. Like you don't see that anymore. It's all about the three ball. It's a different game entirely. It's all percentages, numbers, and all that. And then it kind of slipped its way to baseball, and now we've got it where they actually don't want like the ball in the air anymore.
Yeah, that was the part of the article.
Yeah. And now they've got defensive shifts and stuff like that. And it's like, if you're going to hit it, like either strike out or crank it, because that's actually analytically the best way to go. And so that kind of hurt baseball. And then, yeah, the games are getting longer. They're thinking about incorporating a pitch count. Especially baseball can be a long game. Like when you're watching a baseball game for 4 or 5 hours, like that's a long time to sit and watch. And
the average length is well over 3 hours now.
Yeah, like
especially if you're not at the game, like it's hard to.
Even if you're at the game,
yeah.
I was at the game where the Jays went to like 17 innings, and like we had to take a train. I didn't even get to see all of it, and it was like you're talking like a 5 or 6 hour game at that point, and it's just nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time. When you were saying pitch count, do you mean like a time?
Like a timer, so like kind of like how football has like like they have the
40-second.
Yeah, it'd be something
shot clock.
Yeah, like a shot clock.
That'd be good because I feel like there's a lot of downtime. And do they already have some sort of rule for like how long the batter can take? Because it used to be like I remember because I used to watch baseball when I was much younger, when the Jays were winning and all that kind of stuff. And
so 92 and 93.
92, 93. And I don't remember the batter stepping out of the box.
You're actually not allowed to do that. It's actually
really?
Yeah, it's actually against the rules. And I can't remember which commentator it was, but he actually made a note saying it's like, like every time that batter like steps out of that batter's box, like that's actually illegal. Like you can't do that. And like the MLB like just doesn't enforce it, I guess.
Yeah. Because they never did that before. You might maybe after you took a really big swing and missed or something, you might adjust your glove or tighten everything up.
Yeah.
But now it's like they'll stand there, they'll watch a pitch go by that's
answer their cell phone.
Wild, yeah. And then
adjust their 14 chains that they have on.
They'll step out of their box, do their entire routine again, and then step back in. And like I feel like that if they're gonna do, I mean, it might help having the shot clock or the pitch clock for the pitcher because the other guys wouldn't have enough time to do that.
Yeah.
But like they should also have one for the batter because that I feel like takes up a lot of time. Like in between every single pitch, it's like they're taking their entire glove off, putting it back on, tightening it, taking 17 practice swings and then getting back into the box, and it takes forever. Like of course the game
in the cartoons where they used to like have like all the bats and then they'd like pick one.
Yeah,
we need to bring that back.
That's true. the weighted bat. Well, they have the weighted one, and then they're like,
no, I'm using this one tonight, dear.
Yeah, this is the good one.
This is the one right here. This one has the cork in it.
The one with the lightning bolt on it.
Yeah. Carved it from a bigger bat. So this thing kind of broke my heart. So you saw the Eagles pass Michael Jackson for the greatest album of all time.
They just won a Super Bowl. I'm not surprised.
Wait, no, this is the band.
Gotcha.
I checked it twice. So the Eagles' greatest hits, 1971 and 1975, had been certified platinum 38 times, pushing it ahead of Michael Jackson's Thriller, which was certified 33 times. So how many times did they platinum it in a year? Because if this is just making news now, they must have done it 5 times this year. Because you think every year we would do that, right?
Who's buying the Eagles' greatest hits album still?
Well, maybe it's all these people that, searching the Eagles after they won the Super Bowl. They're like, I might as well get this.
Yeah. This must be what I'm looking for. Next thing you know, they're listening to Tequila Sunrise.
Who?
Wait
who
a
likes,
minute.
Does anyone here like the Eagles?
I like the Eagles. I like a lot of their songs.
I feel like I like their
One
their
song?
hits. I like the if it's a well-known song, I would know that it was the Eagles. If you played anything else by them,
Okay,
I would
so
be like,
here's the
yeah,
track.
it's okay.
Let's compare apples to apples here. So we'll look up Thriller album.
I see where you're going with this, Corey. Put Thriller on while playing the Eagles. Head to head. Only one can survive.
there can only be one.
It's Highlander rules, that's for sure. Okay.
Okay, hold on before you start. What's the metric for platinum? How many?
Is it 1 million albums?
Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
No.
So we're saying
Okay, so I'm gonna look that up.
Like,
We're
didn't they
saying they
adjust
sold
this? Like, didn't they change the rules for this? Like, not too long ago.
I think yeah, because now it includes digital downloads, obviously, because who buys CDs?
That's true.
Okay, so there's 10 songs on this album.
Eagles?
It's 2 sides. Yeah, we're going with Eagles. So side 1, Take It Easy, Witchy Woman, Lion Eyes, Already Gone, and Desperado.
So far, so good.
Side 2, One of These Nights, Tequila Sunrise, Take It to the Limit, Peaceful, Easy Feeling, and Best of My Love.
That's a pretty good lineup.
All right, so
I can
now
sign off with this.
Now, Michelle, I think you'll be with me on this one.
Yeah.
Thriller.
Yeah.
9 tracks. Side 1 has Wanna Be Starting Something, Baby Be Mine, The Girl Is Mine, and Thriller.
Amazing.
Side 2, this is where we get into it. Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, PYT, and The Lady in My Life.
Yeah, like how can you beat that? That is
I don't know. I think side B of Thriller's like pretty one-sided.
That is batting cleanup.
Yeah,
But, like,
that's
are-
like a closer.
we're also talking about a single album versus a greatest hits.
Right?
That's
true,
true.
like, If I'm surprised that a Michael Jackson greatest hits hasn't
Probably because that is the.
I don't think
the
one
greatest hits,
exists.
yeah, well he had
Probably should've-
that
isn't it the Ones or
anthology
something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
album or whatever. But yeah, I'm like that's that one album, like
There is a
Thriller
greatest hits.
in itself could be almost anyone else's greatest hits album.
Mhm.
And that's not even including so many of Michael Jackson's big hits.
Well, those are some of the
So-
biggest ones.
Yeah, but it's pretty crazy that one album has that many big hits, and then you said comparing apples to apples, but I don't think that's like apt. I mean, you're comparing a greatest hits to
Well,
one
it's
album.
comparing apples to apples in terms of albums that are platinum.
Exactly, but
Well,
like
this article does
there's-
say that Thriller remains the best-selling album of all time.
yeah, like there's no way that any single Eagles album is as good or better, obviously better than Thriller.
So it was certified platinum 38 times. Has sold 42 million copies as of 2011. That's the Eagles, and 66 million copies worldwide for Thriller.
Yeah, like that's huge.
Yeah,
And like I don't know, maybe I like there's some bias there too. Like I like Michael Jackson a lot more than I like the Eagles. So yeah, I'm obviously I'm gonna think that album is better. But I think that could be said for a lot of people anyway. Just based on that track list, I think there's a lot more people that are gonna enjoy almost all of the songs on Thriller than they would anything by the Eagles, except for Eagles fans.
Which apparently there are a lot because they keep buying their stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one album, like they aren't like re-releasing, the higher quality versions and back on vinyl and all that kind of stuff that's happening now, or is it just like it's that album?
It's that album, I guess, and however many iterations, whether it's digital.
Gotcha.
And they released this album in 1976.
And Thriller was
released in the year 1982.
82.
So released later and still sold far more. All right. Guess that's it for the news. I would have a debate on that one because I've been listening to more Prince than Michael Jackson lately, but we can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Something about the songwriting, and I just find that more appealing in my older age. Anyhow, Ryan, you're good?
Yeah. I'm all right.
Sounds so disappointed.
It's like he's just thinking about when his next swim class is. He's like, man,
I'll show you, Mom.
One day.
The next family barbecue.
Yeah.
Hold my beer, and he's just gonna dive in. Backstroke.
Drown.
The breaststroke. Just belly flops right in, does not come back up.
Just like my hat floats to the top.
Yeah. And then she's just standing over the pool. I told you, honey.
Here's your beer.
Never learned how to swim. Yeah. We're gonna pour this one out for Ryan.
While he's drowning, taking in the water, he's taking in the beer with.
This is what he would have wanted.
On that note, that's Open Caller for this week. Follow the show, facebook.com/OpenCallerPodcast, Twitter, Instagram, OpenCallerPod, youtube.com/GoVNC. For Michelle, Ryan, this is Corey reminding you to keep it casual.